So, over the past couple of months, as some of you may know, Disney has been in talks to acquire 20th Century Fox, who of course own the rights to the Fantastic Four and the X-Men, who of course Disney, who own Marvel, need to essentially regain their characters that they had to sell off, I think back in the 90s when Marvel were going bankrupt. And of course this was way all before the MCU, this is way before Marvel got taken over by Disney. This was like before everything, this was essentially before the big superhero boom. Let's just call it that. So essentially in this video I'm just going to be talking about everything that we know, what's the most recent news, and what this means for certain franchises and certain movies that are going into production and stuff like that. So essentially the most recent news is that both studios have gone back and asked their bankers to start calling people up and assessing how much everything is worth. So then obviously when everything's hashed out and everything's kind of signed, then the deal is done. Disney then owns 20th Century Fox, which is huge news. I mean, you think back to not too long ago when that seemed an impossibility. That, Disney and Marvel would own X-Men and the Fantastic Four. Now, the Fantastic Four, we were all kind of thinking, oh yeah, okay, in the next few years, it would happen because Fox would realise that, actually come to sense and realise that they don't actually want or need the Fantastic Four, and of course send them back to Marvel. But it's actually come to now the fact that we have Marvel having Fantastic Four and X-Men back, and the fact that the X-Men are back is just something that me, literally just probably 6 months ago, if I were to go back just 6 months and tell myself in the past this is what was going to happen, I'd go, no way. Because, of course at the time, that seemed like an impossibility. We're 100% sure that we're not going to get the X-Men back in the MCU, back and into the MCU for another good 10 years. And now they're back, and that's amazing. Now, of course, everyone knows that this is going to be Marvel acquiring, the Fantastic Four and the X-Men. But what you got to really think about it is Disney will then own other movie franchises that 20th Century Fox owned, prior to the signing. And of course there's also that original Star Wars cut of A New Hope that they will regain by owning Fox. So for example, if Disney wanted to do a big Star Wars marathon before episode 9, they couldn't do that because Fox owned the original cut of A New Hope. So that's amazing. Now, of course, Fox will be able to obviously keep their, their sports things and their news things. That's obviously, that's all there. But, Disney will own the movies, the movie franchises and stuff like that. Now, people are always worried about, and I don't know why, but they seem to be still worrying, even at this point, about, oh my god, what's going to happen to Deadpool? Oh my god, what's going to happen to the Gifted? Oh my god, what's going to happen to Legion? Okay, so now let me just get something straight. Marvel or Disney, however you want to kind of think of it as, they will not touch those. Of course, they will own them, but they will not cancel them, they will not stop them, they will not change them entirely, because those are the things that are working. Things like the X-Men movies that are declining with every movie, they are obviously going to change them. They're going to hopefully have it so it's different actors. They're gonna completely redo that because obviously that will be like mainstream MCU, right? But the things like the Deadpool movies, Deadpool, we're not even sure if the Deadpool was like mainstream universe for the X-Men movies. Like, of course, he referenced the whole McAvoy or Stewart thing, but that doesn't mean to say he's in the same universe. So, Deadpool, you could easily just bring him over into the MCU. Things like The Gifted, you could easily either say that's like in kind of like an Elseworld thing, it's like in a different universe. Legion, you could say it's a different universe, or you could just keep going. You could just like not touch up on it. You could just keep it going. So people are always worrying about like, oh my god, these things are gonna stop. They're so good. I don't want this to happen now. Don't worry, okay? I can't believe I even have to say this, but Marvel will not touch it because people are just freaking out so much, and for no reason. Because Marvel, I assure you, they will not kind of like stop these. They will not change them in any drastic way. If anything, Deadpool will be the perfect way to kind of like inform the everyday Joe that the X-Men, the Fantastic Four are now in the MCU. You could just have him like, explain it in a fourth wall break, like at the end of Deadpool 2 in a post-credit scene, like in some kind of reshoot, or in Deadpool 3 or something like that. Of course, Deadpool 3 will be a thing. So, don't worry about that. Now, another thing people have been questioning and confused about is what's going to be happening to the already slated X-Men films. Things like X-Men Dark Phoenix, New Mutants, of course Deadpool 2. Those things, they will be happening. Marvel are just going to like leave them and stuff like that because obviously that they need to happen because they're already gone into production and stuff like that. And of course Marvel have their own movies slated for the next few years. So what you guys essentially got to think is, right, they're going to acquire these by the end of the year. That's the goal. I think that's obviously clearly going to happen by all the news we've been having so far. Then Marvel are probably going to announce Fantastic Four before they will X-Men. Simply because obviously the X-Men films need to happen. They need to kind of like move out of people's heads slightly, just for Marvel to be able to create more but completely different. So that they'll probably announce Fantastic Four first. Then they'll probably leave it like a year before they like even announce a new X-Men film. And that will probably be another year by the time that comes out. So you won't actually be getting an MCU X-Men film for like another 2 years. I'm calling that now. So yeah, I'm really excited about this deal, and I'll be super duper hyped when this comes to a close and they finally, sign everything. The deal's been done. And I just can't wait for the future of the MCU, which will include the Fantastic Four and the X-Men. Wow, that sounds crazy. So make sure to leave a comment on what you think of this, and it gets you any more hyped for the future of the MCU, which I'm sure it does, unless you're a huge DC fan, in which case, yeah. So, yeah, big hype. And I'll probably be doing like a podcast on this when it does kind of like finally come to a deal, just to like discuss with my mates on what's, what we think will happen and stuff like that, what movies they'll announce, how we think we'll bring them into the MCU, and just stuff like that, general stuff. So yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video.